When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was devastated, and my family and I had nowhere to turn for support. And that is how Turning Point was born.
Something special about my wife is she lives life to the fullest at all times. She's ferociously living life, is the way I describe it.
In March, it'll be 12 years, and we have 3 children. Roman is 8, Carmen is now 6, and Hudson is 4.
She's not only viewed as my cousin, I view her as my sister and one of my best friends, and she's so selfless, and she has always been here for me.
Always.
She was just a beautiful person with a great personality, and just somehow you're comfortable with somebody as soon as you come in contact with them.
We have 1 child. We've been married 28 years, 29 years in September.
When I found out my wife had breast cancer, it put me to my knees.
I would get chemo on Monday and be in bed till Friday. And that's been hard because I missed out, I feel like, on some of my children, growing. They were so young. At the time, they were 4, 2, and 7 months old.
When I initially got my breast cancer diagnosis, it's one of those things where I think my immediate thought was, what does this mean for the rest of my life?
She remained so strong.
So I ended up having a mastectomy. It's an adjustment.
Because I had had biopsies in the past, they automatically did an ultrasound whenever I had my mammogram. And they said, there's something there, we're gonna need to take a further look at it. And they went ahead and did the biopsy. She called me the very next day with the results and said that it was, cancerous. So ended up having to have the mastectomy.
During treatment, there was this outpouring of love. People were bringing food. I could literally feel prayer. After treatment and after the surgery, it kind of died down. And it's like you're expected to go on to your normal. And so that was a hard time for me, way harder than the whole going through the chemotherapy.
When she went to Turning Point, it helped her physically and it helped her mentally. And when she would come home from Turning Point, it helped me, feeling so happy and so much joy because of what they do for her.
All the staff there, they've been involved with breast cancer, impacted by breast cancer in some way, whether it's directly or indirectly. And I think that's why they're so caring.
After that 4th surgery, she was beat up physically and really at a low point emotionally.
I think it's just that they get it, they get me.
They gave me confidence. They restored my mobility, which is something that, of course, is very important. It's like I had this epiphany or moment of clarity. I said, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give back to Turning Point because there's other women out here who need this type of care and treatment that I received, but there are many women out here who they're struggling and they need this type of care, but they can't afford it.
There are people that don't have the support from friends and family, that might be all alone and not have anywhere else to go, and they can go there and feel like that is a family.
What makes me so sad is that so many people either A, don't hear about it or don't know about it, or to not even be able to afford it, to not have that therapy. Because it wasn't also physical therapy, it was mental. They would just let me talk, be so uplifting.
Turning Point offers an array of clinical services, including specialized physical therapy and lymphedema management, massage therapy, counseling, nutrition guidance, exercise programs, and a special program for women with metastatic breast cancer. As a 2-time breast cancer survivor myself, I want women who are going through breast cancer to know that we understand, and Turning Point is here to help. All women in the United States deserve this kind of care. Turning Point is committed to making that happen. We named the organization Turning Point because that's exactly what our goal was: to be a turning point for breast cancer patients and their families.